Hello everyone, I'm Chris Hernandez and this is the Weekly Report, a look at news from the city of Kansas City, Missouri. If you've been tracking your Twitter feed, you know that Kansas City is competing to become Amazon's second U.S. headquarters. An original and very creative campaign has Mayor Sly James writing Amazon product reviews that include facts about Kansas City. Watch this one about wind chimes.
How do I get Amazon to take notice of Kansas City? Product reviews. I live in beautiful Kansas City where the average home price is just $122,000, so I know Lux Living doesn't have to cost a ton. That's why at $14.99, these wind chimes are music to my ears. They have a soothing timbre and they catch the wind just as beautifully as those far more expensive models. I'll tell you, when I'm sitting out in the backyard of my reasonably priced home and these chimes start to tinkle, it feels just like the whole world is singing to me.
This week, the Kansas City team met the deadline by submitting its regional bid to Amazon. The city's Public Works Department teamed up with Bike Walk KC to bike along Grand Boulevard to celebrate the new bike lanes and the road diet on Grand. The newly completed lanes officially opened following the final pavement markings for Phase 1. Council members Jolie Justice and Dan Fowler had the honor of painting a bike symbol on the pavement.
We're thankful to the city for making this huge step and getting this done. I want to thank our champions on City Council for hearing the concerns, but most importantly being the driving force behind getting this program done. Thanks to Public Works Department for working to find solutions, especially the ones in the future that are on the way. And thanks to all of you who are out here who sort of stood beside us along this process and also fought for this as well. So again, just give everyone a big round of applause. This was a lot of work, and thank you all for being here today.
Remember when you voted to approve infrastructure bonds back in April? Well, after a summer of putting out bids and negotiating construction contracts, many of the city's Go KC projects are now underway. Council members took a hard hat tour of the Paseo Bridge over Brush Creek this week. It's one of dozens of projects that are funded by the $800 million Go KC bond package.
We have a long way to go in improving a lot of our aging infrastructure. And so we are appreciative, of course, for our citizens, and we want them to continue to be patient with us as we work through a lot of the work that we must work through over the next several years in fixing and keeping up with our infrastructure here in Kansas City and our infrastructure needs.
You know, what I learned from the tour was that we actually had real problems on this bridge and a lot of other bridges. We had panels falling down, we've had issues for years, something that threatens the public safety of those who are just on these trails underneath. So this was an essential project, and even though we can't always see what some of the infrastructure problems or challenges are, we certainly have them, and I'm glad that we were addressing this one here, and we'll have this done by the beginning of next year to be ready and safe for everybody.
These Go KC projects more or less officially kicked off last week with a ceremony celebrating the new renovations coming to the Kansas City Museum. For more information about these projects, visit kcmo.gov/GoKC. Now let's take a look at that video along with news from other city departments. Hi everyone, I'm Chris Hernandez with the City of Kansas City. We're here at the Kansas City Museum, which has just launched a new construction project. This renovation is so important to Kansas City to create a new civic asset in this old beauty, but it's going to be expensive to make all the renovations here. That's why there's a combination of private fundraising and city funding, including the Go KC bond project approved by voters in April of 2017.
Welcome everybody. This must have been what it's like when Ari Long had a big party and everybody came out to enjoy some family and friends and some good refreshments and trying to fill up this great building. And so we're very glad you're here today, and we're glad we're all here. I'm Mark McHenry with KC Parks and Recreation Department, and I'm going to make several introductions and we'll get our program started.
There are just so many emotions that I have right now. It's hard to explain, but I'll do my best. I'm so excited to be here with you this morning because this has been a long time coming. There were people out there who still remembered the igloo. How many went through the igloo? Yeah. There was the giant bear in the natural history portion out in the carriage house. Who remembers that? Yeah. Who remembers going into the garden room over there and walking on a flatboat? You know that? Yeah. And for some, that was good enough. But for many others, and those of you who are here today, that wasn't good enough because you knew that there was a better story to be told, and that story is about to be told.
Authors will tell you that there are stories that they sit down and write, but they will also tell you that there are certain stories that just demand to be written. This house and this property defined a dynamic part of our earlier Kansas City. Through the Long family, this house entertained and informed visitors and acted as a social hub to help really build the national reputation of Kansas City. This house now has demanded our attention to make it once again a dynamic place to learn and to get inspired, to be a part of the new renaissance that we're seeing here in Kansas City.
So in May, we launched the Making a Museum KC Capital Campaign Initiative, and to date, we have raised $1,250,000 in private funds. Kansas City, Missouri is very important to me, and they have prioritized the renovation of the Kansas City Museum, and they want with us to make it a leading history museum. I always say to Troy Schulte, I say, "Hi, Troy, I need money." And he says, "Get in line." But we do realize that we will need public and private funds to make the renovation of this museum come to life. We truly do. I have a large purse. Anybody wants to drop something? I don't know about hashtags, but I know about cash. So.
With the support of our residents, and I want to take this opportunity to thank the residents of Kansas City, Missouri for their vote in support of this effort in April of 2017. We needed 57%. This particular question got 67%. So this tells you that when you present a good argument to the residents of Kansas City, they will be supportive of it, and they support the idea of restoring this grand old building into the new Kansas City Museum. So we had universal support throughout the city.
In addition to GoKC funding, this project will use private fundraising and the museum levy. Honorary chairpersons of the private fundraising campaign were invited to choose a museum artifact as a memento and to then sign a plaque to be displayed permanently in the museum.
They didn't tell Henry there was a blank check.
The construction should be finished and the museum should reopen in 2019. And when this place does reopen, it will be free for Kansas City residents as a benefit for the tax money they've put into the project. I'm Chris Hernandez with Channel 2.
Without any water, there would literally be no coffee. I mean, what would we do in America without our coffee caffeine intake, you know, our daily dose? You can eat coffee beans, but they don't taste good without the extraction of water.
We wouldn't have a business, period. There wouldn't be anything. We wouldn't be able to make you any coffee. We wouldn't be able to make you any food. And without water, we'd automatically get closed down because we can't clean anything and we can't make sure that we're clean to give you a safe product.
Water is essential in brewing coffee in any way, and pretty much every way we ingest coffee, it requires water unless you're eating beans covered in chocolate.
Just for simple sanitation purposes in the food industry, you have to be able to be clean, you gotta be able to wash your hands, you gotta be able to, wash people's plates, cups and mugs and stuff.
Kansas City's water is great. It's always interesting when you go to different places and you're like, wow, your water tastes funny. I think our water tastes good.
I feel comfortable drinking the tap water everywhere, and in parts of California and Nevada, people just didn't drink the tap water there. They had bottles of water or water jugs in their living room, and that's the only way they got water. You weren't supposed to drink out of the taps there, which was different for me.
I'm Kansas City born and raised, and I have always thoroughly enjoyed the tap water here in Kansas City, Missouri.
change your clock, you change your batteries, and remember, there's no such thing as a smoke detector fairy.
Hi, I'm Audrey with the Kansas City Convention and Entertainment Facilities, bringing you news on upcoming shows and events at your city facilities. Kansas City Comic-Con will host its third annual show November 10th through the 12th at Bartle Hall. Tickets are available for single-day or multi-day admission, and don't miss out on special event VIP tickets to attend an exclusive Superman 40th anniversary event. This is a celebration of the 1978 Christopher Reeve landmark movie with 7 members of the original cast who will share their behind-the-scenes memories of the film that made everyone believe that a man could fly. For more information, visit kansascitycomiccon.com. Stand-up comedian Mike Epps returns to the Kansas City Music Hall for another Laugh Out Loud performance of his It's Comedy Tour on November 11th. Then, just 3 days later, from November 14th through November 19th, the Broadway hit Waitress comes to the Music Hall and serves up a delicious tune-filled delight. This musical features original music and lyrics by 6-time Grammy nominee Sarah Bareilles. Tickets for either Mike Epps or for Waitress are available through Ticketmaster.com or at the Municipal Auditorium box office. Car enthusiasts, listen up. Stop by the city's Bartle Hall November 30th through December 2nd for the annual Kansas City Mecum Auto Auction, delivered by the world-leading auctioneer of collector cars, vintage cars, antique motorcycles, and road art. For information on auction items, schedule of events, and ticket purchasing, please visit mecum.com. To learn more, please visit kcconvention.com and click on the events calendar or call 816-513-5000.
There's no way we could operate without water, unless there was some other weird futuristic form of water that allows us to make beer.
A day without water would be very tough just for normal life, but as a home brewer, it'd be impossible to be a home brewer anymore because beer is almost 90% water. It's one of the main ingredients of beer. So if you don't have water, you can't make beer.
The Kansas City water is actually beautiful brewing water because of the minerals that already exist in the water. It makes for a great end product when we mix our beer or when we mix our malt and hops.
Without water, I'm basically not a home brewer anymore. I'm just an average Joe in the basement.
Without water, there's absolutely no beer.
The American Jazz Museum opened on September 5th, 1997, and now we are celebrating a 20-year history with a retrospective exhibition. You'll see here that Ella Fitzgerald's 1987 NAACP President's Award was one of the Visitor's Choice Award winners. In our Jewels of the Collection section, you will see a saxophone that was played by and signed by Bill Clinton himself. We currently have on display a dress worn by Ella Fitzgerald, similar to the one that stands in our permanent collection, but this one, however, is rarely seen on display, one of the special aspects of this temporary exhibition. In addition to his lasting contributions to jazz, saxophonist John Coltrane served in the United States Navy during World War II. We now have on display his actual set of dog tags from World War II. Thank you for spending your time with us here in the Legacy Plays On 20 Years of the American Jazz Museum. We look forward to seeing you come down here on 18th and Vine, visiting us and our exhibition, which is on display through the end of the year.
The Folly Jazz Series kicks off on October 28th with the performance by Lee Ritenour here at the Folly Theater, Kansas City's oldest theater. Today we are talking to the Follies Executive Director, Gail Tallis. Gail, thank you for having us here.
Thank you, Consuelo. Happy to be here.
And you were going to tell us more about the Jazz Series and about a lot of the exciting things that are happening with the Jazz Series and a unique collaboration and everything that's happening here too.
Absolutely. We do have a lot going on, certainly. This is the 35th anniversary of the Follies Jazz Series, and so we're very excited this year to celebrate it with a lot of great performances. As you mentioned, we have October 28th with Lee Ritenour. That's the opening concert. We also have performances by Spanish Harlem Orchestra, and they will be doing Salsa Navidad. And then we also have SF Jazz Collective, Cyril Amy. We have a lot of great shows this year, and it's a very celebratory season, so we hope everybody will enjoy it.
Now, the Follies Jazz Series has had a history of bringing different performers at different stages in their careers, like Alice Marcellus, who's the patriarch of the Marcellus family, and then you have, before he was even on the Stephen Colbert Show, John Baptiste. So it's such a great way to get an idea of what's out there and what's been out there. So, and they come to Kansas City, which is so exciting.
They do. We have had so many incredible performances through the years. We have had John Baptiste, as you mentioned, and he was one of the most electric performers you would ever want to see. He came out into the audience with his harmonica board, and everybody kind of joined him, and we just had a lot of fun with him. And now, of course, you can't touch him because he's on the Stephen Colbert Show. Also, one of our spotlight performances was Esperanza Spalding, who, of course, everybody knows. She's performed with so many different people now. And we've had the pros like Alice Marcellus, Chick Corea, Sonny Rollins. We've also had a lot of Kansas City's great performers like Kevin Mahogany, Karen Allison, Jay McShann, Marilyn May has performed here. So we've been very fortunate through the years to have all of these incredible artists perform. Too many to mention, unfortunately. Kurt Elling. And we're already starting to line up our season for next year, as a matter of fact, 2018-19. So we'll see what comes from that.
Well, you mentioned kind of the younger generation of jazz performers, but you're also collaborating with a younger generation of visual artists with the Art Institute. Can you tell us about that unique collaboration that you have with the Jazz Series and the students from the Art Institute?
We are collaborating with the Art Institute, and it's a wonderful collaboration. It's one of the favorite things that I do all year, and I absolutely love it because the students' passion comes through in this project and their artistry, of course. We've been doing it for 9 years. And each year I am able to give the students a tour of the Folly Theater. Most of them have never been here, so they get a tour, they hear about the history, the ghost stories, the various performers that have been on stage here, including people like Gypsy Rose Lee and the Marx Brothers. And then they go back and they research the jazz performers, and they come up with these incredible posters for us that we get to exhibit throughout the year. We have to unfortunately choose a few that we focus on, and that's the hardest part of it. We have a great panel of judges for this that we pull together, and they're all either artists, printers, or design people themselves. And so the teachers at the Art Institute have been so supportive of this project, and it's just really wonderful to see what they come up with each year.
And the students get the opportunity to meet the artists that they're doing the posters about. Correct?
Yes, one of the really fun things is that we invite the students to come because we are trying to draw a younger generation to our jazz performances because they're such great performances, and musically we know the improv piece sort of is similar to what the artists go through with their own artistry. So we invite them to come to a performance, bring their friends, bring their family. We announce them from the stage and talk about them a little bit in the program. And then afterwards, we have them meet the performer and get their poster signed by the performer. And many times the performer will actually say, you know, I'd like your information because I love this poster. I'd like to use you for an album cover or something in the future. Arturo Sandoval actually walked out the door. He was stealing one year. So they love what these students do as well because they don't see anything like it anywhere else where they perform.
So these posters are kind of like Kansas City ambassadors.
They are. They are, absolutely. Yes.
So if folks want to find out more about everything that's happening at the Folly, where would they go?
They can go to our website at follytheater.org or call our phone number at 816-842-5500.
All right, Gail. Well, thank you so much for sharing this information in your beautiful home.
Thank you, Consuelo. It's been a great pleasure. Thank you.
The Neighborhood Tourist Development Fund supports local nonprofits that bring cultural, social, educational, and recreational activities to our area. To learn about additional upcoming events, visit kcmo.gov/ntdf.
Next time you're on Interstate 670 at night, you'll notice it's a whole lot brighter under Bartle Hall with new LED lights. The upgrade will improve the light for drivers and also reduce energy costs.
The project's supposed to begin end of October, early November. Our goal is to begin assembling the structure under the building. We'll use some of the existing structure as well as add new structure underneath the building to support all the fixtures. We'll have approximately 1,810 lights. It will be operated by a lighting control system with 6 separate channels that gives us 6 dimming options. And hopefully this project will run no more than 18 months.
It's finally starting to feel like fall, and that means it's time to dust off that rake and get busy. Curbside leaf and brush collection starts in the South Zone the week of October 23rd, followed by Central Zone collection the week of October 30th, and Northland pickup takes place the week of November 13th. Remember, you may leave up to 20 bags or bundles of leaves and brush on your curb on your regular trash day. However, if you'd like to transport your yard waste yourself, the city's leaf and brush drop-off sites are also now open. The sites are located at 11660 North Main, 1815 North Shoto Trafficway, and 10301 Raytown Road. Drop-off is free for residents on Saturdays with identification. For more information, visit kcmo.gov and search leaf and brush. Please don't push your leaves into storm sewers. That can clog up or damage pipes and sometimes causes backups into basements on your own block. And that does it for this edition of the Weekly Report. To view this program again or other Channel 2 videos, go to kcmo.gov and search Channel 2. That page has a link to our YouTube channel and all of our great programs which you can view on demand. I'm Chris Hernandez. See you next time.